My name is Bree, and today I'm going to make some breads. I need to cook something for work tomorrow, and I thought I would make some of my grandma's recipes. This recipe is buttermilk pecan bread. I thought this was interesting because I've never heard of such a bread before, and I thought we should give it a try together. Anyway, we need a third a cup of butter, a half a cup of sugar, 1 egg, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a fourth a teaspoon of soda, 3/4 cups of chopped pecans, and 1.5 cup of buttermilk. And your oven needs to be preheated to 325. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I've got all the ingredients, I think we're going to move forward. So first off, you need to cream the butter and sugar and egg until fluffy. So we're at the butter. I'm going with softened butter, straight from the microwave going in. And it doesn't say what type of sugar. It says a half cup of sugar. I'm pretty sure that means white sugar, but because this recipe sounds fun, I'm going to mix. I'm going to do a fourth a cup of white sugar and a fourth a cup of brown sugar, just because it sounds fun. And I love it when the sugars are mixed. So hopefully that turns out well. Plus, it's pecans. Pecans and brown sugar just go well. And then says to add the egg. So it really says to mix the egg until fluffy. Oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to go mix that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so now it is all mixed together. Just take my word for it. Here you go. Good enough. Okay, so the next thing you're supposed to be doing is sifting together flour, salt, and baking powder and soda. Also, there's no vanilla in this recipe. I think vanilla is great, so we're gonna put that in there. So we need 2 cups. Okay, this video should be semi-follow the recipe. Hopefully it turns out great. 2 cups of flour goes in here. And then any extra off your hand can go right in there too. Why not? A teaspoon of salt, which somehow I didn't get. And we're just gonna sprinkle that over there. And then 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 1, 2, and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I didn't make a mistake that. I misspoke. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon of soda. Okay. This is where a sifter comes in handy. Okay, we're just gonna throw it in my hand and sprinkle it in there. Just want to touch everything today. Okay, so pretend that we sifted that in there. And then we're supposed to add the nuts to the dry ingredients. Okay, so we need 3/4 cups of chopped pecans. This, I got pecan halves. They actually were on sale today, so that's for chopping them. You know, I read the directions. I really did. And then somehow I still missed to chop these. I'm just gonna do 2 handfuls. Probably a cup, but whatever. I feel like it's almost a sin to chop these beautiful halves. Like I should have made a candy with these pecans or something. But this is what we're doing. Maybe I'll leave them bigger because they're so pretty. Basically, I like pecans and I don't like a lot of other kinds of nuts, so anytime it says nuts in the recipe, I just substitute pecans for it. Because that's my favorite. So if you're not into pecans, change it out to walnuts. Who cares? It'll work. I'm over here in Japan thinking, I've seen a lot of macadamia nuts. I wonder if I should try some macadamia nut recipes. Or just put macadamia nuts in here instead. Because they don't really have pecans over here. Just have to get special shipments in for me. Because I like them. I was explaining what a pecan was to one of my Japanese friends. And he kept going, peanut. You mean peanuts? I go, dope, pecans. And the reason why I was explaining it is because I was like, I put pecans in cookies. And he means, he's like, peanuts? I was just confusing them more. Okay, so then we stir all the dry ingredients in and alternate it with the milk. So I'm going to, it makes it sound like it should be delicately done. It makes it sound like it should be carefully done, not with a mixer. So I'm just gonna hand do it. Just like brownies or sometimes muffins or biscuits, you don't want to like over mix stuff. Like when it said cream, that's when it's time to get out the mixer, but then it says mix it in. So I don't want to overly mix this. And it gets all tough and weird. I mean, I've already changed the recipe so much. At this point, I put vanilla and brown sugar in it. This is buttermilk, by the way. And if you don't have buttermilk, just like I don't, you make it. Put lemon and milk together and you can make buttermilk. It's looking soupy in there. Okay, while I'm mixing this together, the next step says turn into a well-greased and lightly floured 8 by 4 inch loaf pan. Bake at 325 for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Man, I really should have read this. Nobody told me how to do this for an hour and 15 minutes. Oh well. I think this is nice and mixed. Time to grease this pan. This looks like 4 inches. I'm going to go with 8 inches. I found this sprayer for like 200 yen. And I was like, yes, it's going to spray all my oil for me. So, it kind of works. But it's better than going out to the store constantly for an air sprayer. Those cans of air spray. Plus I can put whatever oil I want in there. That's what really makes it fun. Okay. Now I have to flour it. Man. Sprinkle it with snow, guys. That's way too much. well greased and floured. No parchment paper crap. At least I'm not fighting with parchment paper. Okay, so we're gonna shove all of this in there. Okay, so that out of the way. You should love all my flour mess. I can't cook without being messy. And then I'm just gonna smooth it out evenly. And to extra make sure it doesn't have air bubbles, I'm gonna do this. Tap it. And I don't know if you saw that on the camera, but it popped a lot of air bubbles out of that. Okay, so because I made a mess on my counter, I have to clean off the pan. Otherwise, my stove's gonna be a mess, and that's not really fun to clean. The counter I can handle. The stove being a mess is a whole nother level. Okay, just because I've learned my lesson more than a few times, I'm putting it on sheet pan. Okay, so I'll see you in an hour and 15 minutes with this one. I decided to also make the banana nut bread. It says cream together butter and sugar, but in the recipe it calls for shortening. So in my mixer I've added the sugar and the shortening. And we're going to go ahead and cream that together real quick. Just in case you're wondering, I didn't watch that. We're just going to keep on going. Okay, now it says to add eggs and bananas and then I guess beat. Okay, so we need 2 eggs. Here's my 2 eggs. And we're supposed to have 3 ripe bananas. My bananas are large. Well, if she had large bananas, I'm gonna say yes, she did. I don't feel bad. And my mixer does not do a good job mashing these, so I'm just gonna mash them with my hands. They're not as ripe as they should be, but this is the best I have for right now. I did not plan for this recipe. Oh, Chuck got in there. I can certify that I wash my hands. At least. Okay, that's a really lot of bananas. Okay, so we're gonna mix these up. And I'm gonna wash my hands again. And I'll be right back with you for the next steps. It doesn't say to add vanilla, but I like to add vanilla into everything, so we're gonna do that. Oh, got bananas in there. My lighting is terrible, I'm sorry. Okay, moving on. Our next thing is to add, in case I didn't show you, it's written on old Bing paper. And it's really faded, so I really need to get going rewriting this one. It says to add, and I'm trying to make out cursive and it's fading, so it's not always great. Add bananas and beet, and then add the rest of the ingredients and mix well. So we're just going to mix that by hand. The rest of the ingredients is 3 cups of flour. Ooh, I think I might be making 2 loaves here. Okay, so 3 cups of flour. Put that in there. 1. Oh, I already made a mess with the flour. Congratulations, it's on my hand. 2. This is definitely not gonna fit in one loaf pan. 3, which is perfect. I'm feeding people at work. Okay, and then 1.5 teaspoons. I don't know. Is it tablespoons or teaspoons? It's just a T, a lowercase t. I'm gonna go with my gut and go with teaspoons. 1.5. I'm really not kidding. This recipe is not written that well and easy to read. So this is where we make up our stuff. 1.5 teaspoons of soda. It's just mine's a little hard, so I have to use my hands instead of sifting it. It doesn't say sift though. And then another half. Fun fact, baking soda cleans everything. It's to sprinkle it everywhere so it cleans everything. Magic. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 tea of salt, I should say. Well, at least that tea is written the same way all the other teas are written, so I'm feeling good about my decision of teaspoons. 1/4 cup of sour milk. Well, I just got regular old milk here, not sour, so why don't we put some lemon in it? That should make it some sour. A 1/4 cup of sour milk. Okay. I swear I had lemon. Okay. About ready to make lime. There we go. Now it's sour. Why sour milk? Maybe it's sour cream. And the last ingredient is 1/2 cup of chopped nuts. Why does everyone want me to chop nuts today? We're going to call that 1/2 cup. My beautiful pecans now getting smaller. Well, I really hope my coworkers, and if you're watching this, I really hope you like pecans because that's what I'm making today. Putting pecans in everything. What's that gonna do? Look, it literally didn't make a dent in there. You hardly can even see the nuts. I feel like nuts are like an afterthought in this case. What's that? There was 1 nut per slice of this. You said there were nuts in this. I can't find any. Why did somebody go with 1/2 cup of nuts? This is like half full of batter. There's no way. It's kind of like me and chocolate chips. If somebody says 1/4 cup of chocolate chips per like a whole mixing cup, I'm like, why? Why even waste the effort? You either have chocolate chips or you don't. We're gonna put some more in there. I started out with my counters clean and now look at it. It's a rough chop. We're adding a whole cup or 2 big handfuls. Somehow I still don't think that's enough. This batter is super thick. Okay. Bake in grease loaf pans or coffee cans. Well, I'm fresh out of coffee cans. But I do have some loaf pans. So let's get this thing all greased up. My husband would be so proud of me. I'm making some noises. He always makes noises. Everywhere we go. We'll be in a stairwell. Now let's see how many muffin pans this thing fills, or loaf pans. I greased and flattened them all. I did 3. Probably gonna regret that decision, but I figured I would be least likely to overfill them if I already had 3. If I just had 2, I would make it work and they would probably overflow in my oven. So having 1 extra one is not going to hurt anybody. And it looks like I wasted effort. Because I can only do 2. So if you're watching, this recipe makes 2, not 3. I had to learn the lesson the hard way, so you don't. Anyway, I was saying that my husband loves to make animal noises in everywhere we go. It'd be super quiet and then he'll start barking like a chicken and everybody will be looking. Or he'll just start making tick noises, whatever. Middle meaty, loud tick noises. And it's hilarious. He really likes to do it if he can get it to echo. So it's a lot of fun living with us sometimes. You hear a random noise, it could be my husband. Okay, so we're gonna stick these in the oven and bake them. The only instructions says bake for 1 hour. I just put the other ones in at 325, so we're gonna do the same thing. All right, I'll see you in an hour with these. Okay, 1 hour and 15 minutes later, we got beautiful loaves of bread. They're very hot right now, so I'm not gonna cut into them. I'm going to let them cool on this rack overnight while I sleep, and then I'm gonna cut into them tomorrow. So I'll film what they look like on the inside and how they taste. I'm gonna actually take them to work with me and share them, so I will let you know how everyone likes them. This loaf right here, the lighter color one, is the pecan bread, and these 2 are the banana ones, which works out perfectly. I think more people will like banana rather than just almond. This one did crack in the middle, and I'm a little sad about that, but I'll get over it. Okay, so this is the pecan bread, and it's so soft and perfect texture, and it's like the perfect amount of pecans. And I wish I had more of this bread because it went quick. And this is the banana pecan bread, and it also went quick. I was glad I had 2 loaves because everybody enjoyed both of these. And when I say I went quick, like, I took it to my coworkers and it was gone within like 30 minutes, I want to say. So both of these were obviously enjoyed. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.